Hey guys, it's Tinker Tailor here today, and I am bringing you this two-unit home, I guess. I was pretty inspired by, I believe it was a picture from Indonesia. I'm not 1,000% sure. Actually, let me look that up to make sure. I'm pretty sure it was Indonesia. Um, because I really wanted to try and get the inspiration from, well, the pack, obviously, because I didn't want to just do something that wasn't actually, you know what? It was a Filipino home. Sorry, my bad. So a house from the Philippines. This is why I was double checking. And with this pack, I just want to make it clear that I'm not very knowledgeable on this area of the world. I'm not sure um, how or why certain buildings are made in certain ways. Um, So if there are any things that you see in this build that aren't something that you would normally see in a traditional Filipino home, definitely let me know because I would love to expand that knowledge and get things to be accurate. I don't want to just make these mistakes and not really care. But I do know that some countries will have houses on stilts for airflow. I know that in my country, in Australia, that a lot of northern places, like for example Queensland, I know that Queensland has a lot of houses on stilts because it gets very hot and you want some airflow. So there are some things that I do kind of understand. Not every house in Queensland is like that. Um, I've been to a lot of different states in Australia, so there are very different styles of how houses are built, and sometimes you'll find some just, I don't want to say generic homes, but just, houses you could see in any state in Australia, but some states like Queensland have their very specific um it's called the Queenslander style, where there's lots of availability and room for airflow to get under the house and cool it from underneath. And verandas are a very big thing. I think it's because you can extend the roofing a little bit and it stops the sun from coming directly into your home. And again, if you want to sit outside, there'll be a nice breeze. Um, but I've seen in other states there've been I don't even know what you call it, lots of brick homes. So I find in some colder places there's lots of brick homes. I believe they're double brick homes. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I'm not a designer or anything. I just play Sims for fun. But yeah, I've heard that it's something that people do, and I think it keeps it cool. No, warm. Sorry. Um, it tries to keep the heat in and the cold out. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but if it works, cool. Um, so yeah, I have very minimal knowledge when it comes to um houses and styles and designs, especially different cultures. So even when I'm doing like European houses, I'm still not entirely sure if I'm doing it right or whatever. Like I'm just kind of getting in and having fun and building. But I absolutely would love to make sure that my builds are actually accurate. Just because I don't I don't want to build a house and then not stay true to the design of it. Um, and I don't know. I think I did okay. I have visited some parts of Asia before, so I do know what some exteriors of houses look like. I've been to a few different countries, so I know that they're different from each other and they have different styles and things like that. This is also why Google was a great help because I googled Indonesian and I googled Philippines homes, and I really felt more drawn to do a Philippines home, like a home based on Filipino homes, because it was sort of the vision I had in my head. So I just wanted to try and find something and stay true to it. But the interior, I have no idea, absolutely no idea if this is accurate or not. And it's also a 2-home unit, so it's not going to look like what a traditional home would look like, regardless of like whatever country you're in, because it's 2 units instead of a house. Which I know can happen, but it's not every house. Every, like, you would look at a house and think it's probably a house, instead of looking at it and thinking it's a unit. So yeah, I thought I did okay. I definitely think still probably massive learning curve. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with starting somewhere that isn't fantastic, because it means I can only go up from here. And my knowledge can only expand from here. So I really hope that I did alright with this challenge, and that everything that I've used is pretty accurate. I mean, I did use a lot of the pack stuff, and then towards the end I actually tried to make it only for rent and base game. I still have to double check that I've done that, but if it's in the title, it means it is. Because I did have a few things around that were not base game and were not for rent. But pretty much everything else is. I think at this point everything actually is, but I think there's a few things I add a bit later on that I go back and change. Just because I realized how much of the for rent stuff I was using, and then thought, you know what, some people might only have this pack. Why don't I just go and do only this pack? And yeah, I'm pretty, I don't want to say impressed or stoked or anything like that, but I think I did okay. Again, massive learning curve gonna be happening soon, because I'm gonna be doing like some more research into different cultures and what you need in a home and whatnot. But there are some things that I've used from my knowledge of houses in Australia to try and apply to this build. Like lots of opening windows because you want some airflow, and having the house elevated with the stilts. I know the downstairs is filled in as an apartment, but you would probably more than likely have stilts, but on stilts or like raised up, so that you can have some nice airflow. And again, took a lot of inspiration from the pack itself. I didn't want to make the pack sorry, I didn't want to make the build just whatever I wanted. I wanted it to be inspired by the pack, because, well, that's why we're here, isn't it? Like, we built this for the pack, so that's sort of the goal with it. And I quite thoroughly enjoy this. I think it's, again, like, expanding my knowledge and just trying to make things a little different, I guess. And it was very fun. I think I want to explore more options like this, because, like I said, it was quite rewarding to do a build like this. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy it. But we still have, well, we're about halfway through the video, and I've kind of run out. No, not run out, but like I think that's a nice place to leave that. Basically, I'm gonna keep looking at how these different styles work and what you need for them, and keep going with that. But I actually wanted to also talk about goal setting, because, well, I mean, it's December, it's nearly the end of the year, and I think we all should kind of have a little look around at what we want to do in the future. Because I think it's good to stop and evaluate where you are and see what you've done, and kind of see where you can go from there. So I think this month I'm gonna set all my goals. Normally I wait until like the new year, but I kind of want to rest and relax and not do anything for the new year. If I want to, I can come back and adjust them, edit them, add to them, remove them, whatever I feel like. But I think I'm going to start making them now and get some photos for some inspiration, and a pin board. I don't have a pin board anymore now that I've moved. But I just kind of want to remind you all that when you're setting goals, be kind to yourself and be realistic as well. You don't have to have these fantastic, amazing, brilliant goals. You don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to have this solid plan. You can absolutely set some broad goals. You can set monthly goals if you're not sure for the whole year. But what I'm going to personally do is set a I like to I've done this for the past 2 years and set a word for the year, and that's kind of my inspiration. So I think this year, I can just quickly find it. My goals this year was balanced. So I really wanted to just balance everything out and just relax and just balance everything out. Like I've always been busy and trying to stretch myself too thin, so I wanted to sort of balance it and relax and be able to enjoy myself sometimes too. But I think next year, I think my word, I was thinking about this earlier. I see I wanted to do growth, but I've done growth before and that's not quite where I want to be. I had the word, it's totally gone now. It'll come back to me later. But I know I want to definitely have a lot more rest and relaxation in my life. I want to I want to take some things to the next level. Like I want to be more adult, and what does that even mean? But I want to feel like I'm doing more and meaning more and helping more and being a productive member of society more. That's not to say I'm not a productive member of society, but just more of everything. So there are some goals in there that I'm not going to share them. Just I like to keep my goals private, but I think it would be fantastic if I could have, yeah, just this. See, this is why I like growth would be a great word, but it's not the right word. I do want to grow as a person, but I want to just improve and mature and become a better person, I guess. And my goals that are around that I think are really good. I know if one of them I'm comfortable sharing. I want to actually start tutoring people of high school age. That was really difficult to think about there for a second. Yeah, I would love to give high school students who are struggling a chance to just get that little bit of extra help. And I would like to do it for like a volunteer thing. I don't want to. I just want to help people, and you know, I've spoken to some people who I knew growing up, like in high school and things like that, and they were explaining to me sort of their experience in school, and it really, like, I had a very different experience, so it's good to be able to talk to these people, and now I know what people actually want when they want to get some help with school. So that's something I'm definitely comfortable sharing, and I think if you are someone who also wants to help out, there's definitely many ways you can do it. So maybe if you're not, you know, comfortable with teaching or helping others, maybe there are other things you can do to help out. I think this world needs more helping. We are all a lot of us are very self-focused, and you know, if you disagree and you think you're not self-focused, fantastic. This is not aimed at you. But I think some people out there definitely need to remember that we live in a world where yes, you don't have to help people, but people don't have to help you either. So if you're not willing to help others, don't expect them to help you. And even if you do help others, don't expect them to help you either. It should come from a place of just wanting to. And of course, if you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm not saying that you have to give up your time and help others, especially if you don't have the time to give to help. I think if you can, it'd be fantastic, but if you can't, that's completely understandable. And, you know, there are other people out there who already do help. I just think in this world there's just too much negativity, too much pressure and stress, and I think if we all just helped each other out a little bit more and were kinder to each other, that things in the world could probably improve a lot. And it would just be a nicer place to live, I think. Yeah, that's why I want to help people, is I don't want others to feel left out or abandoned or lost or hurt or anything like that. Again, that's why I'm comfortable sharing that one. And yeah, the other ones are personal to me, so I there are things I want to achieve or complete or work on, and I think if you just work on yourself every day, bit by bit, that you will absolutely be able to achieve anything that you want to achieve. And there are some things that you think, well, I could never do, I could never reach, I could never be there. And I used to think that about some things, but I've reached those goals, or I've gotten close to reaching them, and it's like, well, I've never thought I could get that far, and here I am. You know, like, I never thought I could build something like this. I'm still somewhat uncomfortable doing a build like this because I don't have the full skills for it, but I have the confidence to try. And I think that's something that is, like, I never thought I could achieve this, and here I am doing it, trying it, testing it out, and I think it's fantastic. So if you're a little discouraged, I understand, but just keep chugging away, and one day you'll look back and see how far you have actually come from where your original goal was. And yeah, just when life gets tough, take a little break, have a rest, and then come back and keep going, because you can't give up and walk away forever. If it's something that'll never work, understandable. But if it's something that can work one day, I reckon don't give up. But that's it from me, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.